Donovan again. Wanted to give you guys a quick update on the Almost 22 project. So I wanted to, first of all, to anyone who has liked this page in the last week, I wanted to give you guys a thanks for liking the page. Also wanted to give a shout back out again to 22 to 0 and also to the Code Green campaign, who are both continuing to do strong work in getting the word out about EMS provider suicide and veteran suicide as well. And also Purple Planet Music. I wanted to give them a particular mention because I've used their music in several projects. They have several batches of free royalty-free music that you can download from their website, which is purple-planet.com. If you go to their website, you can download a bunch of free music. What I'm hoping to do, I've been really impressed with their stuff so far. I'm hoping to do, one of the things with the Indiegogo project, is to fund the ability to actually get them to write music for this project. Hopefully we can fund that. So that will be something else to think about. So I wanted to talk a little bit. Last time I had mentioned that I would tell you a little bit about the plot, and then I mentioned the four main characters and then didn't go any farther. So we've got Philip, who is the main character. He is a military veteran and a paramedic. He's been working in his city's municipal EMS fire department for a while, and he's the main character. Then you have three sort of secondary side characters. His partner, Sarah, she's an EMT, and she is also a military veteran. She and her girlfriend live together. Philip and his girlfriend live together. They don't live with each other in this case. They have their own. They're not like mutually cohabiting the same location. So Philip is starting on this sort of a downward spiral. His girlfriend notices it. Has started to notice that his coping mechanisms now essentially have been reduced to alcohol and procedural cop shows, and it's not working. He's having a rough time dealing with some of the depression, dealing with some of the PTSD. Sarah's having similar struggles. Their co-worker, Stephen, who also works in the fire department. He is not a veteran, but he is a paramedic with the fire department, and is suffering from some of the same stuff that's going on. And then they have a mutual friend and co-worker that works in the law enforcement side, Sarah. Stephen, married, 2 kids. Caroline is the police officer. She's married. Her husband is an IT professional and has no experience at all in any of these realms. So we're going to have some perspective of the main character having difficulty dealing with the PTSD and the depression, having additional stresses and depressing things that happen on shift that kind of mount on top of him. And finally, there's going to be 2 sort of catalyzing events. One's going to be they're going to have a call that they're going to run with where they are responding to a 4-year-old that the mom found had snuck out of the house and into the pool in the backyard, and he's not responding. They pull him out of the pool. The EMS and law enforcement and fire guys get there. They are doing CPR. They can't get pulses back. They take him to the ER. They can't get pulses back. They do everything they can during transport. They drop him. They take him to the emergency department. The emergency department can't get pulses back, and he winds up dying. And that hits them all really hard. And there are other people involved in the call as well. But these 4 in particular, because they're already having some of these other things go on, this kind of becomes the cherry on the sundae, if you will. I mean, to put a kind of a happy metaphor on it. And so this incident is going to really try their ability to cope with the other things as well as this new event. I will say, I don't want to spoil the whole plot. I do want to say that there will be a suicide among at least some person that's involved in this equation here, which is going to kind of rock what is going on, and also kind of identify some organizational changes that need to be made from the organization that is involved. From the fire EMS agency, we're going to see some things come out of it that are positive events. Making lemonade out of lemons, if you will. So a couple of things I wanted to talk about. Scouting. I've done some scouting, location scouting. In fact, one of the things I want to do is I want to have this video here I'm going to show you just a few seconds of it. It's going to be silent. I'm going to do a voiceover on top of it, but so that you can just kind of see what's going on. So here you can see all I've really done is taken a few seconds of video just to scout the location, kind of get a sense for how the shadows, how the light looks. I did take audio, but I've pulled it out of here because it's not really helpful right now. And so as you can see, one of the things that I've done is I went to the site and did some filming of it. I did learn two lessons. One is always record sound. First of all, when you're scouting a location, you are obviously going to scout for frame. You're going to scout for things that you may need to block, access that you may need. There's lots of other things involved in that. But you should always also record the sound levels when you go to scout a location, because you may find that there are things that you can't really hear per se, or that you aren't paying attention to because you're ear blind, if you will, to what's going on. For example, one of the things that is at that location is it's not terribly far away from a major intersection, from a 6-lane this way, from a 6-lane street going east to west, and a 4-lane going north and south. And there's a lot of traffic that flows through there. There was also a lot of traffic that was flowing through the parking lot where I was, even though I was behind most of the buildings. People using it to cut through, to go from one road to the other road without having to go through the intersection. And so those are things, of course, you'd want to look for when you're scouting. But you may not notice the sounds. You may not notice the stuff that you're hearing until you get it into the studio and put the headphones on and push play, because now you're sort of more attuned to it. So always record the sound when you scout a location, whether it's indoor or outdoor, day or night. Also, scout both lighting and shadows at the time that you're thinking that you might film your scenes. So if you find a place that you think is going to be really good for these scenes, go there at the time that you're going to film and take film shots at that time, because you need to know how the shadows are. You need to know how the light flares, whether you need to put things, whether you'll need to bring additional lighting in, but also record the sound at those times, because you may have different patterns for traffic. You may have different HVAC settings, for example, if you're going to record inside of a building and it's during a time when there wouldn't normally be any people there. If you go to scout and you're scouting sort of after hours, you may not hear the HVAC kick on because they turn it off at night, or it resorts to a higher setting or something. So two lessons are: do it at the time you're going to do it, and always record sound. And then the second lesson was, I made a mistake, and that is I filmed, I took my tripod and put my iPhone on it, and I did a 360, and with the sound, I got a good 360 view, frame and sound part, but only from one spot. And when I went back into the studio later and sat down and was watching it Final Cut Pro to make my adjustments, I realized that there was a better spot over on the other side of the parking lot, where I probably should have taken some test footage from there. So I'm going to go back. I got to schlep back up there and do it again, but from the other spot. So another thing to think about is going to be bargain shopping. I was at Bookman's, which is a store here in Tucson that does a lot of resale, do secondhand books, movies, video games, video game consoles, things like that. And I was able to score an Audio Technica ATR 55 super cardioid shotgun mic. It did not come with all of the little bits and pieces that come with it, but it did have the two most important pieces, which of course was the microphone and the windsock. It's dynamic and tunable. I can tune it so that it can do either super cardioid or regular cardioid sound patterns. And it was like 25% of what it would have cost new. So here's a sort of a tip to other independent filmmakers. You may find bargains in places where you didn't expect to find them. So keep looking. You may find one of those jewel, diamond in the rough type things. If you look, just keep looking around, and always keep your eyes open. for things that you can use. Finally, I wanted to give one quick note on Buried Above Ground. So there's a documentary that I think is being released online for free for streaming for 60 days starting today. I haven't had a chance to watch it yet because it was, like I said, I think it was just released today, and so and I haven't had time to do that. But it's a documentary called Buried Above Ground, and it covers three characters, three people who suffer from PTSD. One of them is a military veteran. One of them is a domestic abuse victim and survivor, and one of them was a survivor of Katrina in New Orleans. So it follows their three stories over a 6-year arc, and I think it's going to inform what's going on in Almost 22 as well. I think there's going to be a lot of information. I am going to watch it sometime either tonight or tomorrow. But I think if you're interested in this project, you may also find Buried Above Ground interesting as well. You may find it to be a project worth your time and energy to invest in. At least invest your time in. So that's where I'm at right now. As always, here's the link for the Indiegogo project, so that you can, if you'd like to, if you can, donate to help us get this project funded. Us, the voices in my head, right? To help get this project funded, so that I can get it filmed and get it out, so that we can cast this light on these things. If you can't contribute if you can't donate money to the project, that's fine. If you've got other things, trade in barter, sets, whatever, that's good. That's fine too. Or if you're simply interested in sharing, if you would like to spread the word, that helps also. So I hope you've enjoyed today's update. I hope today's update was informative, and I hope that everybody has a great day. Thank you.